very important film in the life of India. When you see, you will understand why it is so important. These kind of films begin only if somebody believes in them. So this journey started with a bunch of students at Indian School of Business in Hyderabad, which is like the top business school of the world. And they said they wanted to make a 10-minute documentary on some social cause. And I told them, you are future CEOs of the world, so why don't you raise funds so we can really tell the truth to this world? At that time, nobody, believe you me, believed that something like this can happen. That something like this will come true after a few years. So people said, why are you wasting your energy in telling this story? And who cares about Naxals anyways? Because whenever we thought of Naxal issue, we thought of some people in forests fighting with each other, but nobody thought that this film can be translated from the mind of aspirational youth of India. And that time, when these students wrote mails to lots of people requesting for funding, there was one gentleman who met me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I think, and he understood and he believed in this. And he financed this film with no questions asked. And I'm really happy that gentleman is here with us, Mr. Suresh Chukapalli. Then comes the second biggest hurdle when you film because of the content, because today, unfortunately, the narrative, the power is in the hands of those people who this film exposes. It's about the nexus between NGOs, Naxals, intellectuals, and academia and media. So people who control the narrative, people who control the money power, people who control studios, when the film exposes that, nobody wants to put in money in releasing your film. It was nominated in MAMI as a rough cut because one of my assistants got so frustrated. He said, sir, let's at least send it out of the office, and it got nominated. And then the journey began, and then it got awards and lots of acclaim. But I don't want to get positioned into the bracket of one of those festival films, because this is a different kind of film. Then came the stage how to release this film. Lots of people promised that they are putting in money, last minute they backed out. Lots of people said they didn't want to get stuck in this kind of controversial subject. And most of the people said, Pagal ho gaye yaar, अच्छा खासा career चल रहा है, कहाँ फंस रहे हो इन सब चक्करों में. At that time, another gentleman met me by chance in Baroda, and he said, I believe in this film. And in fact, he was also trying to raise money. Some people backed out from him, from his project also. But he said, I'll fight and I'll make sure that this film is released. And that gentleman is called Sharad Patel. You can write one of the best scripts in the world, but if your characters don't come alive, that film can never touch people's hearts or they can stimulate minds. Luckily, when I was looking for a boy who had just come back from US and who's come to India and who's going nowhere, and then he self-actualizes himself and he takes upon himself to fight, to expose this corrupt system. It was very difficult. Some people had credibility, but they looked like they have come from Jhansi University. Some people who came from US did not have that credibility. Then, by chance, a friend of mine recommended a very talented boy. I've been showing this film. In fact, all the universities, IITs and IIMs have been inviting us. You read some figure how many kilometers we are traveling, I don't even know. 5, 7, 8,000 students, everybody says, and critics and whoever, intellectuals, day before I was in Bangalore, everybody tells me this is one of the finest young performance of last 5 to 10 years. And that gentleman is Arunodaya Singh. There was another gentleman, when he heard this story for 5 minutes, he just kept quiet. I said, sir, are you going to do this film or not? He said, yes, I'm going to do it, but how will you make it and how will you release it? And today, when we are doing this trailer, Mr. Anupam Kher, he had to rush because there's something, he has an appointment with Prime Minister. But he sent this message for you. I'll read it out. This is for the media friends. He says, dear friends, first let me say sorry to all of you for not being amongst you on this very special occasion, as I have been invited by the PM and I couldn't refuse. I'm sure Vivek is capable of saying everything I wanted to say, but I want to tell you something about this small yet revolutionary film. When I had signed this film a few years ago, I didn't know that Vivek's vision will come true in 2016. It's the directors like him who have the eye to see what's coming and also the guts to tell the truth. Very rarely comes a film which not only captures the socio-political reality of its times, but also has a deep philosophy at the center of its theme. Buddha in a Traffic Jam is one such film. Today it has become a rage amongst every student, youth, and everyone who wants India to shine, not by disruption, but by constructive actions. It is a very, very important film of our times, as not only it probes deep into current sinister politics, it has deep ideology and philosophy in its heart, and that is love for India. Thanks and Jai Hind. There is another character in the film which was a very complex character, a young bored housewife of a middle-aged professor, and it's very outgoing, very different kind of, very layered performance. I didn't know where to go, and I realized I have a very talented actress as my wife. So I contacted a national award winner, Miss Pallavi Joshi, and then she accepted, and she has done a brilliant role and adds to the cast. Pallavi. She is bedridden. In fact, she is hospitalized for quite some time. That's why she is not here. But she has promised me, as and when you want, she will give you interviews. Then I want to introduce two extremely talented actors who you saw in the end, who actually bring the authenticity to the entire film. Extremely talented Gopal Singh. This film does not have traditional music. It was my intention in last 100 years, कहते हैं पिछली शताब्दी के जो सबसे revolutionary, सबसे महान शायर, poet, intellectual हुए हैं, फैज अहमद फैज. मेरी बहुत इच्छा थी, since this film is so revolutionary, to use his lyrics. And again, by a chance meeting, somebody introduced me to an extremely talented music director who fused folk with rock, and he brought live to Faiz Ahmad Faiz Shairi, extremely talented, who earlier did one brilliant film called Ship of Thesis, Mr. Rohit Sharma. Producers who believed in it, started it, producers who want to release it, actors who acted in it, music directors who were doing music, but ultimately a film has to be distributed properly and somebody has to believe in you. And let me tell you, you won't believe it, it's true story. When I found absolutely no support before this JNU thing happened, the real support came from a gentleman, a friend of mine, Akshay Rathi, introduced me to, with Mr. Surat Barjatya, who I met the other day also. And the entire Barjatya family saw this film. And that was the day I was feeling, oh my God, the kind of language this film has. और honestly मुझे लग रहा था धरती फट जाए मैं उसमें समा जाऊं. मुझे तो काम नहीं मिल रहा. But you won't believe it. People who actually love India, people who really want India to change, it's not about the language. We had to keep this language because we wanted to show the reality the way it is. It was not too sensational. When you see the film, you'll realize. But the entire family believed in me, in us, and they put this film, introduced us to brilliant people, Carnival Cinema, who without questions asked, they said yes, we will distribute it to best of our might. And I would like to invite their CEO, Mr. P.V. Sunil, if he's here. We are a very small film. We don't even have stools to sit. Honestly, seriously, because it costs money. I'm going to Hyderabad tomorrow, and then somebody is sending car. We are going to Chennai, somebody takes us out for lunch and dinner. We are living like that. That's how we are doing. We are going institute to institute, and students are not letting us sit down. And we said this is once in a lifetime opportunity, and we must do it. All I am seeking, you have been to lots of trailers. बहुत मेरी एक film आने वाली है एक महीने बाद T series की, उसमें we'll have very different kind of trailer launch, I'm sure. But here, on behalf of everyone, before we get into question answer, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you, and I seek your support. Not support as media people, because as media people, you have so many films you can write about, so many things are done. All of us will keep doing films, and you will come, I'll come. But this is something, it's very important, because today India is going through such a danger. We are not realizing from all sides, nobody wants India to grow today. The entire Islamic world doesn't want us to grow. The entire Europe doesn't want us to grow. China and all Eastern countries don't want us to grow. There is so much of funding coming in, and all this unrest which you read, it is happening, it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to your children, it's going to happen to your friends, brothers and neighbors. That's why it's very important that we make these films come alive. More and more people should see this film. We are coming on 13th of May with us. Another brilliant big film is coming, Azhar. But don't let this film die, because you say there is no big star, there is no money, so let's not write about it. You should take it as a mission, help us, support us. And now, open to question and answers. Here we are. Sani, aa gaya? Oh, sorry, and brilliant DOP who has done a great job with no money, no lights, nothing, Mr. Attar Singh Saini, and I forgot who helped me right from the beginning until yesterday, the man who has been supporting me with unconditionally, Mr. Vivek Vaswani. Vivek, please. Have I forgotten anybody?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Satya.
Satya, come here. Sorry, I was Satya, the editor of this film, associate director of this film, our friend, and these are all people who stuck without any questions asked.